6-yard return.
That ball looked like it hung up there a little bit, Marvin. Natil had to really run up to catch it, and as you said, never really got control of it. He's trying to make the big play, and he gets it, and then the thing just slips right out of his hand. That's a big break for the Denver Broncos. And you know, really, on a punt return, the only guys there are the defenders, and somehow Natil comes up with a recovery.
Well, Steve Sewell was able to cover up, and it's a first down at the 39-yard line for John Elway, and it's 10-4 Denver Broncos. We are just underway in Phoenix. Bobby Humphrey has the first down. Lonnie Young, the free safety, made the stop. You can hear the roar for the Denver Broncos. A large contingent making it here from the Mile High City. And that's the major reason that there's a big crowd on hand.
Before Phoenix came here, the fans were split between Dallas and Denver.
Offensive line, Gerald Perry has had his difficulties with a host of penalties during the course of the season. Humphrey and Bratton are the starting running backs. Bratton making his first ever start as a fullback. First down at midfield. Humphrey to the outside.
Humphrey carries.
Bobby Humphrey, the spectacular rookie from Alabama, was run out by the strong safety Tim McDonald.
One of the things that the Phoenix Cardinals do very well, this is McDonald, the strong safety. His position is normally up here, but because of the way Denver runs, he's up there cheating on Bobby Humphrey. And watch what he does on the snap of the ball. He's looking right at Humphrey. They run the sweep. No one can get a block on him. He's there to make the tackle. One of the premier strong safeties in the NFC. Tim McDonald, 46.
Second down, 6 at the Phoenix 44. On the delay, Humphrey, and he has the first down, covered up by the outside linebacker Ken Harvey. Well, when the Broncos go to the passing situation, Bratton and Kay depart. Natil and Young enter the lineup. And the Broncos first down at the Cardinal 39-yard line. Elway guns it and able to hit the tight end Clarence Kay. And apparently they say he did not have possession. It is ruled incomplete. Anthony Bell on the stop.
Ball thrown low by John Elway. And it's very difficult for the receiver to catch that ball when it's down around his ankles. You see it kind of sinks on him a little bit. Never really gets control. This is a Cardinal defense, a 43 defense. Very characteristic of the NFC East. Eagles have a 4-3. Giants use a lot of 4-3. So do the Eagles. Cardinals also.
Second and 10 at the Cardinal 39. Elway with the time, and that was picked up on the hop. Incomplete. Michael Young, the intended receiver, and he was covered by Jay Taylor, the extra defensive back. And the Cardinals with Freddie Joe Nunn, Jim Waller, Rod Sadler, David Galloway in that 4-3. Outstanding linebackers, Anthony Bell, Eric Hill, #1 draft pick out of LSU, and Ken Harvey, a second-year player who is having an excellent season. And in the nickel, Taylor and Zordich come on. It's a third down and 10 at the 39. No score. We're early first quarter. Once again, Elway with time, then facing pressure, able to shut it, and then hit back behind the line by Harvey.
Boy, he had a man wide open down the field, too. Mark Jackson was open. Good pressure by the Cardinals front. The Cardinals don't blitz a great deal, but one of the things they have are huge linebackers. Harvey and Bell and Hill are all great big people, so they can stand up there against offensive linemen and get to the pass rush. He was originally flushed, it looked like, by Freddie Joe Nunn, and then the sack.
And here's Iran to punt. Sekahema Lets the short punt bounce around the 20-yard line. And the Cardinals will take over. 28-yard punt. Good defensive effort by the Cardinals, who played tough against the Raiders, although in a losing effort last week. Hank Kuhlman, he was named the interim head coach back on November the 20th, taking over from Gene Stallings. He'd been the Cardinals running back coach the last 4 years. A veteran of 26 years of coaching on the college level, NFL, USFL, a star running back at Missouri. Also played 4 years in the St. Louis Baseball Cardinals organization as a catcher from 59 through 62.
You know, I like the compliment that all the players have paid him over the last 2 days to us, and that he's made it fun. He's worked them, but he's made it fun as an interim coach. They haven't won, though.
Yes, still looking for victory number 1. This is 4th game. And a first down at the 20. Cardinals back to the offense. Sikahema for a short pickup. Kuhlman also said he would be doing a lot of shuffling today, so we are seeing Sikahema as a running back. And he's lined up alongside Ron Wolfley. Carricker on the stop, picked up 3. It is a 2nd down and 7 at the 23.
This is a team missing an awful lot of offensive punch with the loss of Stump Mitchell early in the season to a knee. They've gotten very little production out of their running back spot. And then you see last year's starting quarterback with the headset there. That's Neil Lomax.
In fact, they were 7-4 when Neil Lomax went down, and they finished up at 7-9. Ron Wolfley for just a yard. Alfonso Carricker making the stop. Lomax went down after beating the Giants in Week 11. The Cardinals last season were tied for the NFC East lead. They lost their last 5. And since that 7-4 start of last season, the Cardinals have destructed. They've gone 5 up, 14 down.
Yeah, last year at this time, there's Neil Lomax right there. He is, the arthritic hip. I'm going to give you a picture of him walking, and he's just 30. He walks like he's 70. He's going to need a hip replacement.
It is a 3rd down and 5. And Rosenbaugh has it batted down. Don Holmes, the intended receiver. And the Cardinals once again forced to punt.
Well, I think that was Kip Carrington who came in from the defenses. Well, look at 25 on the right. You see Sikahema tries to make the block on him. Carrington on the safety blitz. And, of course, against a rookie quarterback, very good idea. Give him a lot of looks. Give him some freakish-looking blitzes. Kind of disrupt his pattern a little bit.
And the punt by Camarillo. Here's Natil. Had some difficulty in the first punt return. And he fumbles. Recovered by the Cardinals. Well, the Denver Broncos continue to have difficulties in the punt return game. Earlier, Ken Bell had a series of adventures. We saw that earlier this season. Dan Reeves then went to Vance Johnson, but he's opened with Natil, and Natil coughs it up. The fumble recovered by Ilya Yurashchuk. We'll be back in a moment.
When we left you, here's the punt return by Ricky Natil. Jordan is the guy from behind that strips the ball away. That's before we left. Coming back, Dale Hamer, the referee, has declared to us today we're going to play without the instant replay because he said the whistle is blown. And Hank Kuhlman went absolutely crazy on the sideline.
And Hank Kuhlman and the Cardinals were very upset about some key calls that did not go in favor of the Cardinals in the loss to the LA Raiders a week ago. And Kuhlman is hot right here as Denver is able to maintain possession because of the interpretation that the whistle had blown. So the play dead and no fumble on that cough up by Natil.
Yeah, if you're going to blow the whistle and blow this play dead, in order for this play to be dead, you've got the rule that Ricky Natil is a quarterback and in the grass. But I repeat, Dale Hamer is basically telling us we're not going to use the replay today with the inadvertent whistle.
Well, we now know that there is a pretty good portion of the crowd, including the Joker, in favor of the Phoenix Cardinals, although a large contingent on hand from Denver. Broncos now first down from the 43 off a big break. Humphrey to the outside. Penalty marker is down. Humphrey run out by the left corner. Cedric Mack.
Dan Reeves told us that it's holding against Denver, and that unfortunately is to Gerald Perry's side last week.
Number 60 the offense. 10-yard penalty, still first down.
Well, his name has been called entirely too much for Denver fans thinking in the last several weeks.
Well, Reeves made the point to us that left tackle is the hot corner of the offensive line. It is the quarterback's blind side, trying to lend some support for the left tackle, Gerald Perry. A man who was called for 6 penalties earlier this season in one game against Seattle.
Here's Perry right here, and they're running the sweep. They catch him kind of hooking his arm on the outside on the line. It takes him down. I don't believe that there's any question about that call whatsoever.
Reset the clock to 9:19. Please reset the clock to 9:19.
And as we resume, the Broncos have a 1st and 20 back at the 33. The Denver Broncos, champions of the AFC West for the 4th time in 6 years. They need one victory to clinch home field advantage throughout the AFC playoffs, or a loss by Houston would do it. They have clinched home field for their first playoff game, which will be played the weekend of January 6th and 7th, but seeking to clinch it for the rest of the way. Off the delay, Humphrey proving very tough to haul down. Took Ken Harvey and Tim McDonald to do it.
This guy has made a great transition from the collegiate running ranks to the professional. You find a lot of running backs coming out of college football who stand straight up and run. And Humphrey began his professional career with the Broncos running straight up. Then he hurt his ribs. And now watch him duck that shoulder, take on that tackler. Has really progressed quickly for these Denver Broncos into a pure pro running back.
And he picked up 5, and that makes it 1,000 yards on the season. No Denver rookie ever has reached that plateau. Elway in trouble. And goes sideline. Oh, nice catch. Vance Johnson with his 63rd catch of the season. This is a homecoming for, as he calls himself, the Vance.
The Vance.
Went to school at University of Arizona.
This is an excellent job by John Elway, just extending the defense. It's one of the greatest attributes that John Elway has. You see Vance Johnson continuing with the pattern, but the pressure that Elway puts on the defense is that it must continue to cover. He never gives up on a play. And that's why defenses are back there and think, well, the blitz must have gotten him by now, and he still completes the ball for good yardage to Vance Johnson.
It's a 3rd down, 5 from midfield, 4 wideouts for Denver. No score. We're first quarter. And again, the completion to Johnson, and he has the first down. Stopped by outside linebacker Anthony Bell.
Cardinals that time in a pure zone, dropping off, and really that's what Denver likes with their small, quick, very, very quick receivers. Elway can just pick and choose. Johnson just goes to the distance he needs for the first down, turns around. Young, 43, the free safety there. And Harvey, 56, finally gets him on the ground. First down, Denver.
Now Mark Jackson is to the left. Steve Sewell has been quiet the last couple of weeks. On the bottom of your screen, Humphrey could not make the turn. Anthony Bell on the scene did not allow it.
Along with Freddie Jonone, pushed him from the outside. Sewell, that time, you mentioned his name. He was out there to block, not to catch.
Bobby Humphrey, Denver's first pick in the supplemental draft, averaging just under 4 yards per carry. He is 5th in the AFC in rushing, and moments ago became the first Denver Bronco rookie to ever hit the 1,000-yard mark. We're at the midway point of this first quarter. K in motion. Away to the sideline, and it is picked off by Cedric Mack. Cedric Mack with his 3rd interception of the season. And a pass intended for Vance Johnson.
That's the 17th interception that John Elway has thrown, and Cedric Mack That time guessed and guessed right. Watch his drop. He reads the quarterback's eyes. He's right there with Johnson to make the break, and he comes up with the interception. Phoenix ball.
So the Cardinals take over. They'll have a first down from their 36. Welcome back to Sun Devil Stadium, Tempe, Arizona, located just outside of Phoenix. Marv Albert with Bob Trumpy. Halfway point, first quarter, no score between Denver and the Phoenix Cardinals. And Sikahema hit immediately by the right defensive end, Ron Holmes. The Cardinals to the offense following the interception of John Elway by cornerback Cedric Mack. The rookie quarterback, Tim Rosenball, making his first NFL start. Thus far is 0 for 2. Cardinals have done nothing offensively. 3 plays and a punt, 3 plays and a punt. And that has been it. Rosenball telling us yesterday that he's had good fortune on games that have been nationally televised. He guided Washington State to an upset win over Troy Aikman of UCLA in the Rose Bowl last season. Led Washington State over Houston in the Aloha Bowl. Able to stand in there, completes to Roy Green, just shy of the first down. Green tackled by Wyman Henderson.
Well, you saw one of his major attributes. This kid has got a gun. The game in the NFL nowadays is strong arms, and watch him. It's up and it's away. Tight spiral on the money. Green catches it for 11 yards. Not enough for the first down, but that quick release and that very strong arm, and that was a spiral to Roy Green. See, he's normally throwing to developmental guys. He's playing John Elway last week, and now as a starter, he gets to throw to the starters.
Yes, he said he was in awe of Roy Green when he first showed up in the training camp. Ron Wolfley able to pick up the first down. Wolfley, a 5-year man out of West Virginia, usually a short yardage specialist, and now being used in the backfield. Earl Farrell, the starting fullback, bothered by a calf injury. But apparently they are going to call for the yardsticks, so it is close.
Even if it is close, you certainly think 5-9, Hank Coolman, interim coach. I mean, every series is a 4-down series. What's the sense of punting the ball away?
Because no matter what the conditions, as you see, they pick up the first down. I would think all coaches play it right out of the conservative book. Cardinals first down. Those of you who missed NFL Live, here are some of the headlines in today's show. Dan Reeves said he expects other NFL teams to wait until after the season before interviewing Wade Phillips or Mike Shanahan about head coaching jobs. And Bobby Beathard said he hasn't agreed to join any NFL team next season. Rosenball. Incomplete, intended for Roy Green. Marcus Allen also acknowledged earlier that he was the subject of trade talks in the early part of the season, and the Browns were trying to acquire his services. It'll be a 2nd and 10 at the 47 with 5:45 remaining in this first quarter. The Phoenix Cardinals have lost 4 in a row. They're 5-9. Their last win, November the 12th. They beat Dallas. You look at the 5 wins, Bob, twice over Dallas. They also knocked off Atlanta, Seattle, and Detroit. They won their first 2, and then they lost 4 in a row. 2nd down and 10. And Rosenball goes sideline and incomplete. Intended for Sikahema.
And I do think one of the things the receivers for the Cardinals are going to have to adjust to is the quarterback for most of the season for Phoenix has been Gary Hogeboom. Not a particularly strong arm. This kid has an absolute gun, and you got to get your hands up there and get him ready to catch the ball. You can see that he doesn't mind taking a hit. You saw in the last rollout, kind of looked a little bit like John Elway. Doesn't give up on the play, keeps trying to make the play. He's better numbers than that, but they're going to give him a good look today, no matter what the score is or how well or poorly he plays.
Hogeboom started 12 games. Get the idea he was not pleased about being pushed aside for the rookie Rosenball. 3rd down and 10. And Rosenball able to flip one out, but short of the first down. The tight end, Jay Novacek, on the reception, but once again, the Cardinals will punt it away.
Nice little rollout pass called by the Cardinals, taking advantage of his mobility. His second completion. Jim Schaffner there is the gray-haired gentleman on the sideline. That's the offensive coordinator, Tom Tupa, with the headset on the backup quarterback. That's the offensive brain trust there for the Phoenix Cardinals now.
And the Broncos make a change in their punt return game as Camarillo drops back. Vance Johnson instead of Ricky Nattiel, who fumbled and then fumbled, but the Broncos got a break with the call of the whistle stopping the play. And they'll bring it out to the 20-yard line. So with 5:26 remaining in this first quarter, no score. The 51-yard punt by Camarillo. Costas, O.J. Simpson starting 12:30 Eastern time. First down at the 21-yard line.
Mecklenburg's got it.
And there goes Mecklenburg into the score.
Fumbled from the snap. Now you'll see a Phoenix Cardinal on the replay grab a hold of his leg, but Mecklenburg is up and standing. Wow. Room service, something to ignite the Denver Broncos. As he's moving, following motion. Rosenball never gets the snap. He's up off his knee. I believe they're going to count that one. 6 points, Denver, supplied by Carl Mecklenburg.
23-yard run on the fumble return by Mecklenburg, who is on his way to another Pro Bowl appearance. And now David Treadwell for the extra point. Kubiak put it down. And the Broncos with a 7-0 lead. A penalty marker is down. Carl Mecklenburg in his 7th season from the University of Minnesota, the AFC Defensive Player of the Month for November. Well, the call
Number 43 in the defense
against the Cardinals
on the kickoff. The extra point is good.
And they'll tack it on to the kickoff of the Broncos with the 7-0 lead.
The center is Derek Kennard right in front of Carl Mecklenburg and 55 Dennison. It's all going to happen right here in the middle of all this, and the ball never gets to the quarterback's hands. Now Denver likes to flop their inside linebackers wherever the strength of the offense is, but Mecklenburg, even though he's a linebacker, shows great leg strength and legs it in for the touchdown. Well, the defense for Denver is just about everything else, done just about everything else you can ask of them this season. And here with Wade Phillips, got to be happy.
Well, Carl Mecklenburg told us yesterday that the defensive changes.
Offside, number 45 of the defense on the try. 5-yard penalty on the kickoff.
Mecklenburg telling us the changes this season under Wade Phillips have helped pull the team together with everyone making plays now instead of being funneled to just a few players, which included himself.
Yeah, I like his line that we no longer stop teams with a scheme, we stop them with players. And that's what Wade Phillips has allowed these players to do. Just go out there and play.
Cardinals now with 3 men back for the kickoff. Sikahema, Baker, and Usher. And here's Sikahema to the 20. Nice cut. Gets across the 25-yard line by Sikahema, 2-time Pro Bowl man, for his skills as a punt and kickoff return player. Tyrone Braxton made the stop, and the Cardinals now down by the score of 7-0 off that fumble recovery and touchdown by Mecklenburg. Will start out at their 27-yard line.
I don't know if there's anything more embarrassing to a center and a quarterback to have something like that happen. Now, all week long, Tim has shared the quarterback duty with Hogaboom and Tupa, but that shouldn't happen. Fumbled snap from center.
Now Jordan and Farrell in the backfield. The center is Derek Kennard. It's Farrell getting out to the 30, met by the free safety, the good-looking rookie Steve Atwater.
Good looking. This kid is a player. Interesting note, he is the same size as Jack Lambert, who started at middle linebacker for the Steel Curtain defense of the Pittsburgh Steelers and won 4 Super Bowls. 6'3½", 215, 16, 17 pounds, and he plays free safety. But he plays it like a middle linebacker.
Denver's #1 draft pick. Some of the late workouts pushed him up in the draft. rookie from Arkansas. Steve Atwater. Good hole for Farrell. Short of the first down. It is Mecklenburg on the stop. Carl Mecklenburg is the leading tackler on the Broncos, followed by Atwater.
He was the AFC's Defensive Player of the Month for the month of November. You can see him taking on the rookie offensive tackle Wolf, just standing him straight up. This guy can do everything. I mean, he basically is the size of a defensive line. And now Wade Phillips has given him very specific duty so he can go out there with individual talent and make the plays, and he has.
It's a 3rd and 1 at the 36. A minute 40 remaining. First quarter, Denver 7, Phoenix nothing.
Sikahema.
Wide open.
Oh.
Overthrown.
Trap pass. Hank Coleman was telling us yesterday, look out for the trap pass on 3rd down and short. It was there, and he just overthrows him. Well, watch the offensive line. They fake the trap up the middle. Sikahema gets behind the linebackers. Munford, 51, is the man in coverage. If Rosenball can get that ball to him, he's gone for a score.
Coleman pulled that one out of the pages of his USFL playbook. Tell him about a successful trap pass pulled off while with Birmingham. Here's Camarillo. And Vance Johnson says fair catch back at his 24-yard line. So with a minute and 23 to go in this first quarter, Denver with a 7-0 lead on the Phoenix Cardinals. 42-yard punt by Camarillo, who leads the NFL in punting. And Rosenbaum chatting on the sideline with Neil Lomax.
And he's the quarterback that this team was built around until the injury to his hip. And there was no question he got hurt playing football. Has 2 years left in a very hefty contract. And he thinks he's going to come back and play somehow.
First down for the 24. Elway has it rejected. So Elway has his pass batted down. It appeared to be the right defensive tackle, Jim Waller. He goes, what, 6'3½"?
Let's see if we can pick up whose hand is up there. Elway just 2 of 6 for 22 yards. That is Waller. It is Waller, the defensive tackle, gets his hand up there. Elway was looking at Vance Johnson all the way, and Waller tips the ball away.
Waller back from a knee injury, a starter the past 5 games. 2nd down 10 from the 24. Well, he threw a bullet for a short pickup. Elway can throw the ball, drilling it to Vance Johnson.
Yeah, he almost tattoos you with it. If you let it get to your body, I mean, you're going to have, you might have Pete Rozell's name on your side, the imprint of the laces. Boom. I mean, sometimes when he throws the football, he appears to be like one of those guys who throws the javelin. I mean, he gets his legs in it and his rear end in it. I mean, he really hums it.
This past week, he confirmed that he's been playing with a cracked rib since back in early November, hit hard by Pittsburgh nose tackle Gerald Williams. Says it is just bruised right now. He's fine. 3rd down and 7. And the ruling is, it is a completed pass for a 1st down. Nice move by Vance Johnson. Check that, Mark Jackson.
Marv, I noticed this is an excellent pattern run by Jackson from the inside with Lonnie Young, the free safety, on him. But did you see Elway just before he put everybody up at the line of scrimmage? The sun here in Sun Devil Stadium is a real problem. And this stadium was built for night football, for college football. It was not built with worrying about the sun in players' eyes or anything like that. So in every instance when you play here at this time of day, either the offense or the defense is going to be staring into the sun.
Stands, completed pass, first down.
They went to the instant replay to check the reception by Mark Jackson. And as you heard, the play does stand. Jackson's first catch of the day. Well, a look at Sun Devil Stadium, the home for Arizona State University football and the site of the Fiesta Bowl that will be seen New Year's Day here on NBC. Florida State going against Nebraska. Humphrey stopped back behind the line by the outside linebacker Ken Harvey, who has had a solid season after what has to be termed a tentative rookie campaign.
Look how far away he comes from to make the play. He's all the way over on the left-hand side. He pursues down the line of scrimmage and is there to make the tackle. Anthony Bell, 55, is there to stop the play. Excellent job. These three linebackers are fine players for the Phoenix Cardinals.
And there is the gun. So that is the end of the first quarter. It is Denver 7 and Phoenix.
Here's the runner, and here's the linebacker right here. Now watch how Ken Harvey goes through all of the traffic on the offensive line to get there to make the stop from behind the line of scrimmage. Well, you don't teach this. You have this naturally or you never get it, Marv.
And as we open up the second quarter, Broncos 2nd and 12 from the 35. They lead the Cardinals by the score of 7-0. Elway throwing deep, collision back at the 40-yard line, but no penalty flags are down. Vance Johnson involved with a free safety, Lonnie Young, and Johnson is upset, looking for an interference call.
We got it isolated, and it's incidental contact, is it? You see, Young is waiting on it. Oh, flag should have been thrown. Flag should have been thrown. Stop the pattern a third of the way into it. No flag. So it's 3rd and 12. Lonnie Young got away with one there.
3rd down 12 at the 35. And Elway with a deep drop with the time and has a man wide open. It's Natil for a long gainer inside. Fumble. 25. He did fumble it. And the call is that it will be Denver ball on a 46-yard reception.
Marcus Turner, the extra defensive back, when he got to Natil, he just knocked it straight out of his arms. And what the officials, I believe, are ruling, watch Natil at the end of this play. Great time for John Elway to find him. This is an excellent catch by Natil. Now watch the tackle. The right arm. Turner comes up, knocks it right out of his hands.
Went out of bounds, but it's still Denver's ball.
See if we can pick it. Lonnie, Tim McDonald. Whoa. Where the ball is loose. I don't know if the tip of the ball is out.
Looked like the nose of the ball may have been out of bounds, but it's difficult even from this angle to tell. Here it is again.
Looks like they're going to review it, take a very good look at it. Now, Tim McDonald is in bounds himself. The question is the ball in bounds? We can't tell from there. The last angle we had, I think, was the best angle. But it's hard to tell if the point of the ball is out of bounds, and the ball can be out of bounds and brought back in. It's not the same as the goal line. It has to be touching the out of bounds in order for it to be out of bounds, just like the player. But I don't think because we have any better angle, I believe the play is going to stand there as a completed pass, a fumble, but fumbled out of bounds.
A very nice balancing act by the strong safety Tim McDonald, but it appeared that the nose of the ball was across the end line.
But again, Marv, that is not the goal line, so the rule is not the same. There's not a plane on that sideline. The ball has to touch the out of bounds to be out of bounds.
The play stands. First down.
So the play does stand. The replay official is Jack Fenny. Now what I'm saying is that it appeared that it did, at least from my naked eye, that it did touch the out of bounds area.
If it does, then it's out of bounds. No question about it.
That is what the replay official felt. So the crowd reacts as Denver now first down from the 21-yard line. Is stopped for a loss on the play as the outside linebackers Harvey and Bell have the clamps on Humphrey.
Well, so far the fans here in Sun Devil Stadium been treated to two very controversial calls, both against Phoenix.
So second down, 14, back at the 25-yard line. The completion to Johnson.
Good tackle.
But a very short pickup. The free safety, Lonnie Young, 6-year man from Michigan State, right on the scene. Young making it back from a fractured right shoulder that was suffered on the opening game against Detroit.
With Tim McDonald back there in the defensive backfield along with Lonnie Young, Phoenix has two safeties I think that will be there for a lot of years and being a lot of players.
It is 3rd down and 11. 7-0. Denver leading Phoenix. Quick release, underthrown, intended for Johnson.
John Elway was very, very upset. Now, I don't know if Vance Johnson was supposed to look quick, but there was a safety blitz. And when there's a safety blitz, at times you're not going to have enough people to pick up the blitzers. And the receiver has to look. And John Elway, watch what he does. Man, come on. You can see Lonnie Young, 43, coming in there on the blitz. And I think John Elway feels that Vance Johnson didn't see the blitz, and therefore the pass was short.
39-yard field goal attempt for David Treadwell, having an excellent season. One-time Phoenix Cardinal in camp with the Cardinals last year, and he puts it through. Treadwell, 24 for 29 on the year. So the Broncos with a 10-0 lead on the Cardinals. And the kickoff by Treadwell took a high hop, and Sikahema will play it in the end zone. A Cardinal player is down. He's hurt.
And also have a flag.
Penalty marker also thrown. That's Michael Zordich, shaken up, number 38.
The flag is thrown back at the spot where the Denver Broncos kicked off. So make him kick it again.
Offside. Number 58 of the kicking team. The penalty is accepted. 5 yards. Re-kick.
And Scott Curtis called for the offside. There's Curtis, who has been a very strong special teams player, second season out of the University of New Hampshire. And Treadwell will kick it again. Rich Carlos was the Denver kicker last season, and Treadwell beat him out. He was acquired early in training camp, first-year player from Clemson. Spent part of last year in the Phoenix Cardinal training camp, and has done a very fine job. A couple of game-winning field goals, successful on his first 11 field goal attempts before missing a 54-yarder against the San Diego Chargers.
This field is beginning to look like the schoolyard here. Began a beautifully painted green and is now suddenly becoming brown. Arizona State had 8 home games this year in Sun Devil Stadium and really tore it up. This stadium, by the way, is built on rock. Underneath here is rock. You don't just dig dirt out from underneath this floor.
One of the upmen, Darrell Usher, on the return, gets across the 30-yard line. 2 minutes have gone by in the second quarter. The Broncos with a 10-0 lead. The fumble recovery, a 23-yard run off the fumble by Mecklenburg, and the 39-yard field goal by Treadwell. So the rookie, Tim Rosenbaum, looking at a first down from the 32. Phoenix invisible thus far offensively, accounting for only 1 first down and 33 total yards. And Rosenbaum thus far is 2 for 7 for 14 yards. Farrell, the ball carrier.
That's one of the problems that Phoenix has really had without a consistent running game. Stump Mitchell hurt out for the season. Had to rely on their fullbacks and not really been able to get it done. You can also see Rosenbaum staring right into that sun. Now, it's tough to find receivers when you've got that sun right in your eyes.
It is a second down and 8 at the 33. Off the roll. Rosenbaum did not fool anyone. Ron Holmes making it 9 sacks the last 9 games.
He had a receiver open, too. Sikahema ran the pattern out of the backfield, but Holmes was there to get him before he could even get the ball up to try to make the attempt. See Sikahema on the left? Now watch him. He'll be open just above the left corner of the screen. Rosenbaugh just can't get it up and throw it. As a matter of fact, that ball appears to pop loose, but they call him in the grass.
Well, with Rosenbaugh, the starter at quarterback today, Cardinal General Manager Larry Wilson telling us, as you mentioned, that this, in effect, is the first game for the Cardinals of 1990. We mentioned that to Dan Reeves, and he said, well, I hope they don't win their home opener. And it is a 10-0 Denver lead. Third down, 17. Rosenbaugh airing it out, and it is broken up. The pass intended for Darrell Usher, and Mark Haynes got a piece of it.
I'm kind of surprised at the approach here by Phoenix. You've got a rookie quarterback. This is his first start. And my feeling is that the best way that you establish this kid is you give him high percentage passes to complete. He's thrown the ball way down the field 3 different times. He's not completed one yet. And you're not going to do much for his confidence by giving the low percentage passes some priority.
And Camarillo punting once again to Vance Johnson. Nice moves by Johnson, but he could not get outside. A 44-yard punt and a 6-yard return. Timeout taken. Back in to Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Arizona. Marv Albert, Bob Trumpy. The Denver Broncos first down at their 37-yard line. They lead the Phoenix Cardinals by the score of 10-0. We are early second quarter. Big hole for Melvin Bratton. Working his way across the 45. The left defensive tackle Rod Sadler making the stop. Word on Ricky Natil, the wide receiver and return man. He is out for the game because of a sprained right knee. Natil involved in a controversial play earlier in the game, coughing it up. The Phoenix Cardinals thought that they had held on to the ball just before it crossed the end line. And Natil has had it for the day. He sprained his right knee. Second back coming through. Big hole for Humphrey. Stopped by Eric Hill, and the Broncos have a first down.
That's where he functions very, very well. Of course, at Alabama, but all they ran was the I formation. Bobby Humphrey very deep with that lead blocker Bratton in front of him. Watch how quickly he gets through that line of scrimmage. Now, see, he also has got that forward body lean, protects himself, drags people along. He stays healthy. He's going to run for a lot of yards for Denver.
And the Broncos first down at the 48. Bratton picking his way inside the 45. The left defensive end David Galloway making the stop. Well, recapping, the Broncos with that interception to stop the early drive. Cedric Mack, the left corner, picking it off. The fumble recovery by Mecklenburg, who ran it in from 23 yards away. And then the field goal by Treadwell for a 10-0 Denver lead. Second down and 6 at the Phoenix 44. Elway off the roll, could not find anyone, and then completes to Bratton. But he is shy of the first down. The free safety, number 43, Lonnie Young, on the tackle.
But that is vintage John Elway. He never gives up on a play. Gets to the sideline. He's flushed out of the pocket again by Tim McDonald, 46, the strong safety. Still looking for a receiver. Goes back across his body, right on the numbers to Mel Bratton. And he picks up 7 or 8 yards. He's amazing how he has that ability. He never seems to get into a play.
Particularly when he throws against the grain way across the field. Third down and 2 at the Cardinal 40. Play action, and it's a first down. The tight end Clarence Kay picks it up, run out by Mack and Young. Clarence Kay, a player who's been frustrated about his season before last week. He had not caught a pass in 3 straight weeks. 3 receptions in the snow against the Giants made him a little bit happier last week.
Nice play action fake, and again this ball low. It is a good job of getting down there, and then as a runner, McDonald misses him. And Young and Mack finally get him down. First down pickup. Drive stays alive for Denver. They started out very slow, but now they're getting some momentum in their offense.
17-yard advance. First reception by Kay. And Elway goes the middle and completes to Johnson. Whistle had blown. The play is dead. Anthony Bell on the stop. And that is 5 receptions for Vance Johnson.
And their leading receiver this year, over 1,000 yards. John Elway this season, and the Denver Broncos have a 1,000-yard receiver in Vance Johnson, 1,000-yard rusher in Bobby Humphrey, something they did not have in their trips to the Super Bowl in '86 and '87.
Vance Johnson, a star running back at the University of Arizona in Tucson, making the transition to the wide receiver position in the NFL.
He's so fast and scary, too.
2nd down 8, number 21. Humphrey, change of direction, beautiful cut. And it will be a 1st and goal for the Broncos.
Well, he does an outstanding job of setting up the block of the guard Waddell. He absolutely makes all the yards here by himself. Now you'll watch the guard pull out in front of him. 67. Now watch what he does to Ken Harvey. Stops him, gives Waddell a chance to hit him, and then Waddell ends up getting Young and Harvey. That's all on Bobby Humphrey. He did that all himself. Used the blocker perfectly.
He went 18. 1st and goal down at the 3.
Cool.
Oh, that completely fooled the Cardinals. But a penalty marker is down.
I think they're going to call Clarence Kay on a crackback block.
Even when Sewell was in the end zone, the Cardinals did not realize that he had the ball.
Now they're calling the right guard Waddell on a trip.
Personal foul, tripping, number 67 in the offense. 10-yard penalties, still 1st down.
And that is the right guard, Doug Waddell.
This is a beautifully executed play. Here's the guy they call it on. Now he pulls out ahead of Steve Sewell. And you see Waddell right at the edge of your screen. He's out there. Whoa, wait a minute. That's a trip. You can't leg whip people down, but it appeared that the offensive guard already had the guy on going down, that his leg just fell over because of his own weight. Wow.
And it sets it back to a 1st and goal at the 13. 8th play of the drive. Humphrey. This time could not get inside, had a notion to cut in earlier, but Hill and Bell stayed right with him.
Excellent pursuit by all the Phoenix Cardinals, and this time the guard, Bobby Humphrey, just the numbers were in the favor of the Phoenix Cardinals.
58 is Eric Hill, Cardinals #1 draft pick out of LSU. Lost the yard on the play. 2nd and goal back at the 14 with just under 6 minutes to go in this 1st half.
And you see Denver without Natil going with 3 wide receivers, and Kay, the tight end, is standing up as the 4th.
Elway has Sewell. Touchdown. Steve Sewell soaring over.
Ken Harvey, the linebacker, was the man in coverage. A 14-yard catch. I said Clarence Kay was in the ball game. Actually, it was Orson Mobley as the 4th wide receiver. And Sewell, you see him as the back right there in front of Elway, and Elway locks onto him. And then the high jump, the old scissors play, and he's in the end zone twice. 1 counts.
14-yard touchdown pass play. 3rd touchdown of the season for Sewell. And Treadwell, as Kubiak was able to handle that high snap, put it through. So John Elway now 10 for 16, 119 yards. Steve Sewell, a quiet man in recent weeks, able to go over. The Broncos prepare to kick off just a moment ago. Gary Hogaboom warming up on the sideline. It could be a quick thumb for the rookie Tim Rosenthal. What's your feeling about that?
I don't like it. He only gets a 1.25. I don't like it a bit.
Returned by Sikahema. And yes, that's it for Rosenball. And Gary Hogeboom.
I don't like this.
Will come on.
I don't like this. He's your first-round draft choice. He's your quarterback of the future. You got to give him more than a quarter and a half. I mean, I realize he's only 2 for 8 for 14 yards. But, I mean, at 5 and 9, you got to give him more of a chance than that. Hank Kuhlman, the head coach, makes the choice. Hogeboom is back in the ball game, and I think the fans have just recognized it.
Well, could that be Hank Kuhlman desperately seeking a win in the NFL? But he's
sure. But still, I think the future of this quarterback is with Rosenball.
However, Hogeboom completes to the tight end Robert Awald, stopped by Mark Mumford. So the Cardinals back to the offense, and the stats on Rosenball: 2 completions, 2 out of 8, 14 yards. That's it. He certainly had his difficulties, but obviously a very difficult situation against the #1 defensive unit in the NFL.
And Mom's here, too, for Pullman Ward.
Rosie made the trip.
Could you feel any worse?
2nd down 5 at the 32. 5 minutes left. Just under 5 left, first half. Hogeboom, snowed under. Second sack for the Broncos. Warren Powers and Greg Cragen appeared to be involved.
43rd sack of the season for this Denver defense. And you can see they basically just overpower the offensive line. Joe Wolf got over man. He's number 68. He was the man on Holmes. And also Lance Smith was basically run over.
And there's Powers, man with very long arms, 39-inch sleeve length. A Denver second pick on the second round out of Maryland. 3rd down and 13 from the 24. Broncos 17, Cardinals nothing. Hogeboom running out of the pocket and nearly picked off.
Mark Haynes finally got it, but he was out of bounds. Randy Robbins had it right in his hands. Ball was intended for Darrell Usher. Going to happen all to the right as Hogeboom is flushed from the pocket. Bronco first. Through his hands. Usher doesn't get it. Finally Haynes does, but the second foot comes down out of bounds. It brings up 4th down.
Randy Robbins, number 48, replacing the injured Dennis Smith, sitting it out today. 6th punt of the day for the busy Rich Camarillo. And Vance Johnson is back. Camarillo from his 10. Johnson from the 31. Good coverage by the Cardinals, led by Ron Wolfley, who's been outstanding on special teams. 45-yard punt. First down at the 35 with 4:05 to go in this first half. Humphrey following blockers.
Humphrey carries.
Oh, Bobby Humphrey having an excellent first half. Run out by Anthony Bell. 58 yards, 13 carries for Humphrey.
He would have gone over 1,000 yards last week if there hadn't been all the holding calls against his offensive lineman.
He had a 50-yard run called back. Gerald Perry called on the infraction. A reminder to our viewers that we'll be selecting the Budweiser Most Valuable Player for today's game at the conclusion of the game. It is a 2nd and 6 from the 39. Denver looking to clinch home field advantage for the entire playoffs. Humphrey battling his way just short of the first down. Galloway and Hill have the reps around Humphrey and make the stop. Denver comes in at 10-4. They are already champions of the AFC West. They need one win to clinch home field advantage, or a loss by Houston would do it. They have clinched home field for their first playoff game. That'll be played the weekend of January 6th and 7th. 3rd down and 1. And the first down is picked up on the sneak by Elway.
Now this one is getting out of hand in a hurry here. One of the things that the Cardinal folks kept telling us over the last couple of days is that the team had not quit, the players had not quit, and the coaches had really inspired the team to play and play very well. Last week against the Raiders, they were in it to the last snap.
Yeah, they kept making the point they play hard. Not to say they have not played hard here in the first half, but they're trailing badly, 17-0. Humphrey again prevented from making the turn by Bell and Hill.
Well, when they go in at halftime trailing 17-0 at least in the second to last game of the season, and Rosenbaugh gets a grand total of a quarter and a half's worth of play in this game, there's going to be some long faces in that Cardinal locker room if there haven't been before now.
Also the question as to who made the decision to play Rosenbaugh. The front office certainly has the right to do what they would like, and apparently they wanted to take a long look at a guy they've invested a lot of money in. It is completed to the tight end Clarence Kay.
Although, Marv, I must tell you, in my estimation now, with Larry Wilson as the general manager of the Cardinals, I do believe that he's now the man making the decisions. And he allowed Hank Koeman and the coaching staff to make the decision. And Rosenbaugh was chosen as the starter yesterday morning. And I think he hoped.
Line as Elway fires deep downfield, and it is intercepted. Cedric Mack with his second interception of this first half. The pass intended for Mark Jackson.
That's 18 interceptions on the season for John Elway. Mack stays with the coverage. Jackson, tremendous speed. But he just plays the ball perfectly, catches it. Elway now 11 of 18, 130 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
And for Mack, his 4th interception of the season. So with 2 minutes 7 seconds left in this first half, the Cardinals will take over. 17-0. The Broncos on top. It's been a season of turmoil for the Cardinals. Host of injuries, losing record, the firing of head coach Gene Stallings, and fan apathy leading to the small crowds and criticism of Cardinal owner Bill Bidwell. That was certainly dealt with on NFL Live earlier today. Hogaboom on the swing for Sikahema.
The Cardinals still only have 1 first down with 2 minutes to go in the first half. 1 first down.
And a timeout taken as we come up to 2 minutes remaining in this first half.
Sounds clearly in favor of the Denver Broncos.
It is a 2nd and 10 from the 20 for the Cardinals, who took over off that second interception by Mack. Hogaboom, incomplete. Sikahema should have held on. Did not. He was covered by the linebacker Scott Curtis.
Now, I would have preferred to see Rosenbaugh with this opportunity. Throw the ball underneath as opposed to way down deep down the field. And you see Hogaboom, this is kind of a crossing pattern. You see Sikahema just out of the backfield. Curtis with decent coverage. Ball just thrown out of Sikahema's reach. I wish they'd given Tim Rosenbaugh that opportunity. Throw to the backs in the flat. Throw to the backs across the middle. He does not look happy.
And here is Hogaboom. And he completed to Novacek. It appeared that it was about to be intercepted.
Novacek basically a tight end out there. That's a 25-yard pickup.
First charge, timeout. Cardinals, 40-second timeout.
So
40 seconds.
Cardinals call for the timeout. Gary Hogaboom has been the starter for the Cardinals for 12 of their games. Last week, directed a grinded-out attack effectively against the Raiders, although he did throw 2 touchdown passes, making it a career high of 12. Had a 12 for 24, 160 yards, and right there able to connect with Jay Novacek, 5-year player out of Wyoming, for a 25-yard connection.
You mentioned earlier that Hogaboom was kind of shoved aside. That happened to him in Dallas. That happened to him in Indianapolis. And then today it happened to him again, but he sits for a quarter and a half and he replaces Tim Rosenbaugh. Try to generate some offense here for the Phoenix Cardinals. Just their 2nd first down in the first half of this game.
So first down at the 44. Gary Hogaboom signed with Phoenix as a Plan B free agent. Originally a 5th-round draft pick of the Dallas Cowboys. Hogaboom going sideline. And now he is intercepted by Tyrone Braxton. The pass intended for Roy Green. So the Broncos going with the 6 defensive backs. And Braxton with his 6th interception of the season. He's among the NFL leaders of that department.
And for Hogaboom, his 17th interception. This is a pattern. It's like an out and up to Roy Green. Braxton, who has played spectacular football for this defensive backfield. Not a great man-on-man coverage guy, but good in zone and excellent tackler. That time fine coverage. And Denver has the ball again.
Broncos first down from their 28 with 1:36 remaining first half. Denver 17, Phoenix nothing. Humphrey with a big hole. And Humphrey gets to midfield. The strong safety, Tim McDonald, on the stop. There's Humphrey, rolled up 23 more yards.
Hurry up offense by Denver. They want more points.
Humphrey's gone for 90 yards now, 16 carries. Elway firing and has a first down. Clarence Kay with his 2nd catch of the day. Hill and McDonald on the
First
stop.
charge, timeout. Denver 40-second timeout.
Calls for time, 1:08 remaining as Kay limps to the sideline. 1:08 left in this first half.
Well, they already got Ricky Nuttall over there on the sideline with a knee problem. Worst thing that could happen is you lose a lot of players in this game, although you are going to have a couple of weeks to get them ready to play.
17-0. Broncos scoring on a fumble recovery by Mecklenburg, a 39-yard field goal by Treadwell, and a 14-yard pass play, Elway, for Sewell. When we were chatting last night with John Elway, spent a lot of time talking about what was going through the mind of Tim Rosenbaum. And he said when he was a rookie, players would tell him, hey, go out and have fun. He said he'd really like to hear that. He said, what kind of fun can you have when you're out there facing that kind of pressure? I said, well, throw a couple of one-liners at the defensive linemen that are coming at you.
Yeah, right.
That'll be real fun.
Yeah, this is real fun as I'm climbing out underneath 1,200 pounds of body.
And Elway, well, let's see, is it ruled a completion?
One guy says yes, the other one says no.
Sewell, on the deflection, was able to follow it through.
Foul, roughing the passer, number 78, 15 yards.
Flag thrown. 78 is Freddie Joe Nunn. So they didn't need the catch. They're going to get the yards on the penalty.
That was deflected, tipped by backup tight end Pat Kelly, followed by Steve Sewell.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, number 78, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Freddie Joe Nunn, you got to walk away after that second step. He tries to indicate that he's not hammering him into the ground, but he did make contact with him clearly after the ball was thrown.
Thus Denver has a first down at the 20 with 1:01 remaining in this first half.
Safety blitz.
And Elway completes to Johnson. Nice spin by the Vance Johnson, putting the move on Cedric Mack right at the first down marker.
Johnson's 6th catch so far in the first half. He runs the out. You can see Cedric Mack is there with him, and then nice move, and he gets out of bounds.
So Vance Johnson's 6 receptions for 40 yards. He now has 68 catches on the season. Just under 1 minute left in the half. It's a 2nd and 1 at the 11. Elway with the time, and then decides to go down.
Intended receiver Mel Bratton did not run a particularly good pattern. But by going down on his knee, he stops the clock immediately, and Denver takes a timeout.
Second charge, timeout. Dallas, 40-second timeout.
He's looking for Bratton, 32. You see Anthony Bell got his hands all over him, and Elway has nobody to throw it to, so he goes down on his knee to stop the clock.
It will be a 3rd down and 6 at the 16. Mike Shanahan has been preaching to John Elway, don't force the play, and well, he certainly didn't force it. That's an unusual thing to see the quarterback go down in that manner.
Yeah, when he puts his knee down, that basically is behind the line of scrimmage, stops the clock, and he can call the timeout there. So John was very, very smart in that situation. Yeah, he and Mike Shanahan have spent a lot of time together, and when Shanahan came back to Denver from the Raiders, we asked him if we thought he saw any difference in John. He said, absolutely none. Still one of the rare talents in the NFL.
And the reports circulating concerning Mike Shanahan, who appears to be headed for the University of Kentucky, but said there'll be nothing more about that until after the game. Elway goes incomplete.
Oh, Mobley was totally uncovered. Again, a safety blitz. The Cardinals coming with that a lot. And Mobley was out there all by himself.
So it is a 4th down and 6, and David Treadwell will come on.
That time Harvey in there, and he knew he had an open receiver, but just couldn't quite get it to him.
This will be a 33-yard attempt for Treadwell, who earlier hit from 38. He is 24 for 29 on the season. So the Denver Broncos extend to a 20-0 lead on the Phoenix Cardinals. David Treadwell, who says that visualization is a big part of his game. Before Treadwell kicks, he visualizes the ball splitting the uprights, and he sees the 3 points going up on the board. I know you're a great believer in visualization.
Oh, yes. I try that all the time.
Very nice.
That always seems to work. Visualization?
Yeah.
When you make them. But when you don't make them, it's the holder, it's the weather, it's the sun, it's the ground.
Well, on that very subject, Bob, this telecast is presented by authority of the National Football League. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any rebroadcast or other use of this telecast without the express written consent of the Phoenix Cardinals of the National Football League is prohibited. And this game is the property of the NFL. All rights reserved. 43 seconds remaining. In this first half, all Denver, 20-0 lead. The kickoff by Treadwell, followed by Sikahema. Out to the 20. So Sikahema is hauled down, and with 38 seconds to go in the half, the Cardinals will start out from their 21-yard line.
Boy, is this place quiet?
And this their biggest crowd of the season, thanks to the support from Denver. A large contingent of fans have made their way. The Cardinals average only 41,000 in attendance. Many in the crowd today wearing the orange of Denver. Even the Denver fans have been quiet because, you know, a wipeout first half. Intended for Sikahema.
Oh, this offense can't do anything right. They got 2 first downs, and they pull Rosenball because it doesn't look like he can complete a pass, but now they continue to drop him for Gary Hogaboom. Hogaboom's 3 of 7, 29 yards, an interception. Not a half you'd want to keep on film. Yeah, he's the only one left. Tom Tupa. We can try him before this day's out.
Tupa seeing action last week as the punter for the injured Rich Camarillo. Did a good job. Denver 245 total yards. Phoenix only 48.
And remember, they got 25 on one play to Novacek for a tight end.
Second down 10. And Hogaboom incomplete. Intended for Sikahema.
Must tell you, though, as miserable as this offense looks, I consider this Phoenix Cardinal team a team with a considerable amount of talent. I mean, I realize that sounds ridiculous, 5-9, and playing the way they are, but I think if they get Stump Mitchell back, this has a decent offensive line. I think Roy Green and J.T. Smith, who is hurt, are 2 excellent receivers, although getting up in years. And then the strength of this team, I think, is on its defense. Someone's going to come in here as a head coach and turn the Phoenix Cardinals around, and it's not going to take years.
In effect, it's the type of team you would like to take over.
Oh,
because,
yes.
There is there is that potential there. Although their standout players, as you see the flags tossed, are getting up there in age. Stump Mitchell at 30, J.T. Smith up there.
False start. Number 62 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's the rookie Mike Zandowski called on the false start.
He's playing because Tootie Robbins is hurt. Joe Wolf, 68, is playing right tackle for him. They're going to be very active in the Plan B free agency. Larry Wilson told us that yesterday. They're going to go out and find a lot of people because they do want to make this team a winner, and they have a good nucleus on defense and some good players in offense.
Third down, 15. A completion for Don Holmes. He is short. The first down. Clock is running down to 15 seconds to go in the half. Brooks and Braxton made the stop. And now the timeout called by Denver. So one timeout apiece remaining. And 16
That's
seconds.
the third and final charge timeout.
On the clock. Now a correction. That was the final timeout for Denver. All right. Rich Cavarillo, who has, it seems, spent the entire first half back in punt formation, punting for the 7th time. Vance Johnson letting it roll. And the clock is rolling down. Stopped with 6 seconds remaining. A 48-yard punt credited to Cavarillo. And the Broncos, with 6 seconds remaining in the half, take over.
There's Hank Kuhlman, the head coach. 0-3 on his Christmas wish list. He said he wanted his first victory as a head coach. Doesn't look like it's going to come today. May next week. Not today.
Well, the Cardinals conclude their second season in Arizona with a game against the Eagles in Philadelphia. I don't see any bounties being put out on the Cardinals. I don't think you can rev up any anger.
No.
And that is it for the first half. So here at Sun Devil Stadium in Tempe, Dan Reeves and the Denver Broncos with a 20-0 lead on the Cardinals of Phoenix. We'll be back after these messages.